You know, I've been thinking about the Elisa Lam case again, and it's just so unsettling.
Oh yeah, at the Cecil Hotel? That one always gives me goosebumps. What part of it caught your attention this time?
Well, the whole sequence of events is just bizarre. Here's this 21-year-old student from Canada, Elisa Lam, who decides to take a solo trip to LA.
Right?
She checks into the Cecil Hotel, which has this notorious history, and then she vanishes.
Yeah, and that hotel,
Yeah.
it's had its fair share of dark stories, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's infamous for housing serial killers like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and Jack Unterweger.
It's like the hotel has its own dark aura or something.
Exactly. So Elisa checks in there,
Yeah.
keeps in touch with her family daily, and then suddenly, on January 31st, she just stops communicating.
That's when her family started to worry, right? Because it was so
Yeah.
unlike her.
Precisely. They reported her missing, and the LAPD gets involved. But for 2 weeks, there's just nothing. No leads, no sightings, nada.
And then the hotel guests started complaining about the water.
Yeah,
That part always creeps me out.
seriously, it's like something out of a horror movie. Guests were reporting low water pressure, odd taste, even discolored water coming from the taps.
Can you imagine turning on the faucet and seeing that? Gives me the chills.
Exactly. So the hotel staff goes to check the water tanks on the roof, and that's where they find Elisa's body.
In the water tank, it's so disturbing.
I know. And what's even more baffling is how she got there. The tanks are huge, heavy lids, and the rooftop access is supposed to be locked with alarms.
Right, so how did she manage to get up there unnoticed? And in the
Exactly.
middle of the night?
That's one of the biggest questions. And then there's the elevator footage.
Oh, that video is so eerie. She's pressing all the buttons and
Yeah.
peeking out as if someone's following her.
Right. And then she starts making these strange hand movements, almost like she's talking to someone invisible.
Do you think she was hallucinating? Maybe a psychotic episode?
That's one theory. The autopsy report did mention she had bipolar disorder, and that could have played a role. But still, it doesn't explain everything.
But wasn't there no evidence of drugs or alcohol in her system? Which makes it
Exactly.
even more puzzling.
Yes, toxicology reports came back clean. So if she was having a manic episode, it wasn't substance-induced.
But even then, accessing the roof seems unlikely.
That's the thing. Some people think foul play was involved. Maybe someone at the hotel helped her, or worse.
But wouldn't there be evidence of that?
You'd think
But
so.
apparently there were no signs of struggle or trauma.
Exactly. It's like she just vanished and reappeared under impossible circumstances.
Some have even suggested supernatural theories.
Oh, like the hotel being haunted?
Yeah.
I've heard that too. Given the hotel's history, it's not surprising.
But do you really think that's plausible?
Honestly, I'm skeptical. But at this point, the case raises more questions than answers.
Yeah, but we can't overlook the mental health aspect either. Maybe her bipolar disorder led to a psychotic break.
True, but I feel like labeling it solely as an accident due to mental illness oversimplifies the situation. There's just too many odd details.
I get what you're saying, but sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct one.
Perhaps, but I can't shake the feeling that there's more to it. Like, how did she manage to access the roof without triggering any alarms?
That's a valid point, and the hotel's security measures should have prevented that.
Exactly. And did you hear about the connections people made with tuberculosis tests in the area?
No, what was that about?
So get this. After Elisa's body was found, there was an outbreak of tuberculosis among the homeless population near Skid Row.
Really?
And the test they used to detect TB was called, the Lam-Elisa test.
Wait, that's an uncanny coincidence.
Exactly. It led some people to speculate all sorts of conspiracy theories, like maybe she was involved somehow.
That's wild. But probably just a coincidence, right?
Most likely, but it adds another layer to the mystery.
You know, this case really shows how quickly speculation can spiral.
Absolutely. The internet can be a double-edged sword. It keeps the discussion alive, but also spreads unfounded theories.
Yeah, and sometimes the real story gets lost in all that noise.
True. But still, the unanswered questions keep us intrigued. Why are we so drawn to mysteries like this?
I guess it's human nature to seek explanations for the inexplicable.
Maybe. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces.
And the more we try to fill in the gaps, the more possibilities emerge.
Exactly. And then there's the movie Dark Water that people often compare this case to.
Oh, isn't that the one where a girl dies in a water tank and haunts the building? That's
Yeah.
eerie.
Right. The similarities are uncanny, but the movie came out before Elisa's death.
Coincidence again, or something more?
Who knows? It's just another twist in an already twisted tale.
It's just so tragic. A young woman's life cut short and we may never know why.
Yeah, it's, heartbreaking. Her family must have gone through so much.
Definitely. I hope they found some closure, even if the case remains unsolved.
Me too. At the end of the day, it's a reminder of how fragile life can be.
And how some mysteries just remain part of the shadows.
Exactly. Maybe someday we'll have more answers, but until then, it keeps us wondering.
Well, it's certainly a case that won't be forgotten anytime soon.
Definitely not. It's one that stays with you.
So, what's next on your list of mind-bending mysteries?
Haha. Well, there's always something out there to pique our curiosity.
True that. Keeps life interesting, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Here's to unraveling more mysteries together.
Cheers to that.